Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is your Modern Tech Breakdown. Today I'm taking a look at AI and how it's trained. I've noticed a bit of a pattern across multiple headlines over the last 6 or so weeks, and I think it's worth a quick video. Let's jump in. All right, as I've been scanning the tech headlines over the last several weeks, I've seen multiple articles talking about how AI is stealing the work of authors and artists. Each time I run across one of these articles, I'm reminded of a quote from, love him or hate him, Noam Chomsky, who said, ChatGPT is high-tech plagiarism. Obviously, Chomsky is a quite controversial character. You might love him, you might hate him. But regardless, I think at a minimum, and in regards to the latest headlines, you have to concede that it's an interesting point. And to make that point, let's jump into a few recent articles that talk about this issue. First is an Engadget article that amplifies the concerns of artists that want to know what content the new Apple Intelligence features were trained on. The article mentions deals with Shutterstock and PhotoBucket, but I would guess Apple's using even more than those two sources, and Apple hasn't actually acknowledged those deals. But the artists quoted in this piece are upset that Apple hasn't been more forthcoming with the sources of their training data. Here's a quote from the article that truly captures just how artists are feeling about generative AI. In May, Andrew Luong, a Los Angeles-based artist who has worked on films like Black Panther, The Lion King, and Mulan, called generative AI the greatest heist in the history of human intellect in his testimony before the California State Assembly about the effects of AI on the entertainment industry. All right, tell me how you really feel, Andrew. I definitely get where he's coming from, but the greatest heist in the history of human intellect might be a little bit hyperbolic, but I get it. I think it's valid. Next, here is a Wired article that goes into details about how artists can thwart the use of their work through regulation, courts, other direct means, including turning off web scraping through the robot.txt file. Who wants to tell the authors that a web crawler really doesn't have to respect the robot.txt file? Anyways, comment for another day. But yeah, long article here from Wired about what artists can do. Here is an article about Figma. Figma is a kind of a creative drawing tool, if you're not familiar with it. It's a pretty straightforward story. Let me just read the first few lines. Figma's new tool, Make Designs, lets users quickly mock up apps using generative AI. Now it's been pulled after the tool drafted designs that look strikingly similar to Apple's iOS weather app. So again, here's a company pulling a product that's based on AI that's, for all intents and purposes, looks like it's just straight ripping off other designs. Obviously going to be a problem with the creative community there. And now in the last example, we have a company that's getting some bad press. Is an article from The Verge talking about Perplexity, which is a company that is trying to create an AI replacement for search engines. They call it an answer engine. Let's read a quick paragraph here. That means that Perplexity is basically a rent-seeking middleman on high-quality sources. The value proposition on search originally was that by scraping the work done by journalists and others, Google's results sent traffic to those sources. But by providing an answer rather than pointing people to click through to the primary source, these so-called answer engines starve the primary source of ad revenue, keeping that revenue for themselves. Perplexity is among a group of vampires that include Arc Search and Google itself. So rent-seeking middleman vampires. That's some great writing. Nice imagery there. I like it. But anyways, there's one last example that's a little different from the rest. Here we have a CNET article that grabs a quote from the president of one of my favorite companies, Nintendo. CNET quotes Shuntaro Furukawa as saying, generative AI, which has been a hot topic in recent years, can be more creative, but we also recognize that it has issues with intellectual property rights. So the president of Nintendo absolutely hitting the nail on the head there. There's some serious issues here. People are doing work and AI is grabbing it and using it to train their model. It's a thorny issue. But I think it's safe to say that AI in general doesn't have a good reputation with the folks making content. And I think that's natural. You can understand that. AI could put these folks out of business, including myself, which is a frightening concept. But what should companies do about this? It's tough to say. You're seeing Apple is opting for the quiet strategy. Don't tell anyone anything about what content is used for training. Others, like OpenAI, are making deals with large content companies to potentially alleviate the legal risk. At the end of the day, all of this is new. Courts haven't made much, if any, precedent, and I doubt that the laws on the books are all that clear with regards to how content can or can't be used for AI training. I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg of understanding how AI is going to play out, including with regards to training data usage. And I fully expect that within a few years, you'll start to see a clamoring for congressional action on this topic. There'll be too many people impacted and too much money being made for politicians to ignore the debate. But for now, that's all I have on the topic. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.